a liking indeed. Don't buy things that you do not need, otherwise you end up selling the things you need. Thank you so much. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Germany, Ms. Senate Masupa, is now ready for us. With a standing ovation, may I kindly request that we make welcome. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Corporate Director. Thank you, everyone. Jumena, hello. Sanwanani, and happy Africa Day month. And I'm already wishing all our Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm sorry I'm a bit late due to circumstances which I had to take care of earlier this afternoon. My name is Senate Barbara Masupa. I'm currently based in Germany, in Berlin. I'm the ambassador of the Kingdom of Lesotho in Berlin, in Germany, and a couple of other countries of accreditation. I'm a bit nervous. I don't really see the entire audience here, and I'm wondering if I'm speaking to quite a number of women and girls, because so this event is specifically targeted for women talk. So I just wanna, get a feel if there's a number of women and of course our male counterparts in the room. But nonetheless, I just don't want to waste any more time on my topic. Mary, thank you very much for the opportunity to address the select audience on the topic of patriarchy system and women's rights. The word patriarchy, for me, I don't even want to, to mention it, because it's really not in my favor. But for the purpose of the event, please allow me to take you through it. I think we all know what patriarchy means, because it's normally defined in different ways. Under general terms, I would say patriarchal event is a political, social, economic, cultural, ideological system based on the power and domination of men over women. And indeed, it's very sad that we continue to live in a patriarchal society that gives absolute priority to men and to a large extent limits women's rights. And unfortunately, I try to understand that it's not the origin or the existence of patriarchy. And I think it originates from our traditionalists who have this firm belief that patriarchy is one of the rules of nature, therefore it cannot change and it has to, it will continue. But unfortunately, I don't subscribe to that claim. I'm one of the people who believe that patriarchy is not nature and women's, it is because it is man-made. And if it's man-made, it has to be changed. And it's the responsibility of us, women and girls, to make sure that it changes. The issue of patriarchy really is filtrating through family affairs and the rest of society. And due to patriarchy, more women are normally deprived of their human rights and opportunities, and they are rejected their freedom over their lives and human dignity. So this is really disturbing. But what gives us comfort, like us, I refer to, us as women, is the fact that I think there's a deliberate political will on the international arena in the form of treaties and conventions. We all know at a regional and international level, which are really trying to correct the situation. The major challenge is normally our domestic legislations, which are just not speaking to the call for gender equality, the call for respect for women's rights. I just want to take you through what I have experienced here in Europe, especially with regards to my host country, the Federal Republic of Germany. I would say Germany is quite advanced with this issue. I believe you know that it is one of the countries that is led, actually it's one country that is led by one of the most powerful female politicians, Chancellor Angela Merkel. And that really speaks volume about the political commitment of Germany to gender equality, respect for women's rights. So my call really with regards to women's rights, I would say let's join hands together and respond to a call made by UN Women on generation equality, which is declared as a transformative agenda to bring about ends to discrimination and violence against women, and to have equal participation in political, social, and economic life. With that, I would say we still have a lot to do, especially in our African states, because as I've mentioned earlier, we really have the ongoing apparent patriarchal practices which are even upheld by our domestic legislation. So I've just learned that at least we have the politicians in this audience. I've learned we are with the Honorable South African Minister of Basic Education, May Mosefa. I know May, I've followed you quite a lot, and I know you have a very strong passion on women's empowerment and emancipation. So I would like our governments really to take this matter very seriously and domesticate the international law that is strongly calling for meaningful protection and respect for women's rights and meaningful protection for, meaningful gender equality and justice for all. I was told I only have 10 minutes on that to make comments. So I'll try to be as brief as possible, but if you have anything or questions, please feel free to do so, because I was told there are quite a number of speakers that are going to deliberate in detail on this matter. So I really didn't prepare much on this. As I mentioned, I also had other engagements this afternoon. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be part of you and to be with you this afternoon. Thank you.
I presume everybody can hear me now?
Yes, now we can. Thank you.
I'm okay? Okay.
We can.
Please allow me to join those who have preceded me in thanking you for the opportunity afforded me to speak on this auspicious occasion. May I also take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to wish you in advance a happy Mother's Day. The pursuit of a better future for our people, specifically our women, and the need to create communities in which our people can flourish and in peace and stability forms the cornerstone of the humanitarian resolve to make a contribution to the betterment of humanity, no matter how small. What Memory is doing is really commendable. Not only that, it is relevant in the context of our humanity challenges and the vital and urgent role that caring can play in addressing some of the challenges. It may be an attempt further to re-emphasize that no man is an island, that there is a crucial central interdependence of all mankind. Each one of us can and have a vital role to play and a contribution to make. We must not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that some of us are privileged. We have been afforded opportunities that our sisters and brothers only aim to have. We must not forget that given the opportunities, they would also be where we are and maybe making contributions that we should be making. One writer, I don't remember what writer this was, and I will quote, said, at the end of the day, we must ask ourselves the following. Is anyone happier because you passed this way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him or her today? Can you say tonight, parting with the day sleeping, that sleeping fast, that you helped a single person or the many you passed? Is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? Does a man or woman whose hopes were fading now with courage look ahead? Did you waste the day or lost it? Was it well sorely spent? Did you leave a trail of kindness or a scar of discontent? As you close your eyes in slumber, do you think that God will say,
have you re-earned one more tomorrow by work you did? It's only to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like to echo, because this has been said over and over, we can do something to make a difference in the lives of our brothers, in the lives of our sisters. I think many even said further, we should hold them or pull them along as we move forward. Charity has a vision of kindness and a simple awareness that the best aspect of human nature is represented by those who stop to help others in need. I'm sure there are many of us who are where we are because of help of other people. They enabled us to develop a meaningful life and possibly to achieve our dreams. Without their help, we would never be where we are today. There's so much value in helping each other or paying it forward. It is called responsible citizenship. When all of us do our bit to lift someone up, we multiply resources available for development and creating a healthy, happy world. I thank each one of you for your contribution to the cause. I don't remember who it is, maybe Miriam, when she made a presentation of, maybe somebody else said, train a woman and train a nation. Or as is put by yet another writer, when all is said, it is the mother only who is a better citizen than the soldier who fights for his country. A successful mother, a mother who does her part in rearing and training aright the boys and the girls who are to be men and women of the next generation, is of greater use to the community. And oftentimes, if she would only realize it, a more honorable as well as more important position than any man in it. The mother is the one supreme asset of the national life. She's more important far than a successful statesman, or businessman, or artist, or scientist. It is with these few words that I would like to acknowledge and applaud the work that you are. Mary has been a beautiful initiative. I'm glad you're surrounded by women worldwide who are in support of your cause because they see the need for us to be there for each other, for us to help each other as women, for us to nurture our children. Ladies and gentlemen, in making this valuable and unique opportunity, I'm sure you have sown the seeds. The seed will be nurtured, it will be watered, it will grow, it will bear fruits, and we will all rejoice as in time the fruits get ripe and we can all partake and enjoy them. I've learned so much from today's deliberations. Thank you. I'm really humbled at having been invited to be a part of this gathering.
In the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director.
I'm going to speak with the mass on deliberately. Just to remind ourselves that we are still confronted by COVID-19. Appreciate that the organizing team ensure that we can comply with the protocols, but also raise awareness that as a country we are very fearful that we might be facing or on the way to the third wave. Yesterday the statistics were 2,000, today it's 2,000, so they're not going down, they're going up. So it's to make a humble appeal and reminder that we have to do whatever it takes to protect ourselves and the nation from any other threat of the second wave or the third wave. And program director, I'm saying this as a survivor. I went through COVID-19. I think I went through the worst of COVID-19. My kids were asking me, is it painful? I said, it's one of the most saddest diseases where you, in a way, see your death coming. You reach a stage where you say, I'm not going to struggle for breath any longer. I'm not going to try to breathe. In the Catholic Church, we have a prayer that says, my God, I know I'm going to die. I don't know when I'm going to die, how and when. But if I do, please receive my soul. And I had to remember the prayer and thank God to say, at least I know when I'm dying now. I'm dying here, and I'm dying of COVID. It's a very terrible disease, and we don't want to be responsible for anybody's death, but we also have to protect it around us. So I thought I should make that statement. But please allow me to really thank Omeri most sincerely.
Yes.
She's not only persistent.
Yes.
You'll agree with me, she is such a beautiful, energetic soul that is visionary, and I really thank you for being you, but also thank you for the initiative, and thank you also for bringing our sisters in Africa together, because we need each other to survive as a people. So thank you very much, Lily.
Yes.
But I also want to acknowledge and appreciate our sisters. I'm glad that they are also our brothers who are joining us for participating in this wonderful, wonderful program. So Mary thanks me for coming. I will not miss it for different reasons. First, for being invited by you. You can't say no to me like that.
No, definitely.
So, and she said so much energy that you feel like we need this energy that she has with her, and we know we're going to benefit from this energy. And you feel an obligation that we have to support this energy because it's a necessary energy. So I have to come here. And I'm sorry I arrived late. You're aware that we have an NEC meeting, and yeah. So I didn't arrive late out of disrespect. But I also want to thank their patrons for supporting this initiative. I have no doubt in my mind that, that these small seeds, that when they blossom, you come through a baobab tree. And I have a feeling that this seed is going to take us places. As a member of the ANC, I always say, it took a few men to come together to say, this can't go on like this. We have to do something. Sacrifice whatever we can to liberate our people. It was a small seed, it became a big thing. And today, as South Africans, we can say, with the other organizations, we are proud to be South Africans. We can call ourselves South Africans. South Africans. So it takes one initiative to grow a tree, and I am confident, Mary, that the seeds that we are planting today, we may not see it in a lifetime, but our kids are going to benefit from it. I support all the initiatives. I honor the patrons that are here. I've seen small things growing big. I've been part of small things growing big. I always tell Machira Saturi, even when they march against me, I get so proud to see them but let's strata. Because when we started, Machira Sawa don't get it down. Not very picturing professionals.
Yeah.
It was difficult to organize them. But to see them in their thousands, and I always tell them it gives me so much pride to say, in my lifetime, comrade Kempsis, it's about so it really is. So we'll be lucky to live and see it, but I know it takes just a leadership, the patrons, the commitment, and the mission. But also the other reason I came because I had a privilege, as you mentioned earlier, of making a contribution to the books that you produce. And that's the reason also for me, get one of the nursery, so they took over the change. I said, again. So I've reached a stage that sex an entrepreneurship for one after school. My key interest is around children and books and women. And I'm very proud that amongst other things that you do yourselves in this initiative is about reading, it's about books. You know, as a country, and people just say we're the last in the world. We're not. But we're at the bottom, we're not. In these international benchmarks, half the time South Africa and maybe one other country goes into this international case. So half the time there is 44 countries, where that is number 44 out of 200 countries are number last, so number 44. And the real policy is no, we want to know that you can't compete with China, but we want to know what makes China succeed. That's what we're going to do when we go to these international benchmarks. And all the time they reveal to us that our children still struggle with reading. And then we need to understand what is it that we need to do more to be able to go straight to we're a proud nation. In the BRICS, we're like a house cat amongst tigers. I mean, Russia has more than 100,000. Let me take, well, for instance, China. China has more than 1 billion people. India is number 2 billion people. Well, Brazil has got more than 150 million people. And we come with 50 million, we're a house cat which runs with these cats. And that's who we are. So we go to this test where we assess where are the problems. And one of the key problems that makes me very attractive to the work that you do, Meme, is the literacy part. Because our research tells us that nations that succeed and their children succeed are reading nations. Not only the children reading. If you don't read, your children won't read. How should they be something, but not be something? The program is so discovered, it's so okay. Last time, when I was a kid, when I went 3 months, my husband used to say to themselves, are you serious? You're watching people at work. But what about your mates? So when I was saying, you guys are saying to our owner, or actor, you are watching and wanting to create a sense that this is real. We really saw the guy saying, hey, the police are about to those are still police. Professor Bamulao, but I don't compare the notes, nobody can say the lawyer is the lawyer. But hey, I give you a lawyer, don't have a lawyer. Those are the so I don't like somewhere as I it's a problem. Now I want to hey, the little put your eyes, but whatever it's because he's finished his role, he's got another job. And that was my end so. So what our research tells me, that countries like, for instance, Russia, In Russia, we're told 65% of Russians read at all the time. Now, 85% of them read. 15% of them are advanced readers.
Sure.
So researchers, your authors, your academics, and other people, that's 15%. In our country, only 15% of adult South Africans read. So which means even those that can read don't read. And only 5%, you can see the contrast. Only 5% of us are advanced readers. Your academic, your researchers. So we have to instill the culture of reading in our homes first. Because so people don't know Sisulu. When you tell me side, you want to say much harder. I American accent. So they're going to do that. So I'm very keen to really, and I'm very encouraged by your energy, the work that you do, especially in literacy. Because we know that the nation that leads is the nations that can read. What Japan Baba Putswa, on next you can go to Japan Baba Putswa. There's nothing. But because they can read and because they're educated, they are leading. They're amongst the top 7. We have the best endowments that God could give to any humanity. We're beautiful, we're beautiful, we're strong, we're healthy.
Yes.
But we're very strong, resilient people.
Yes.
We're still here today.
Yes.
So your initiative is very helpful, and the trustees Malebo Hawol with all my heart, and I really am grateful that there is this initiative.
Yes.
The other reason is because it's women-led. It's not a slogan that we say we're pillars. It is true, we're pillars of our society. We're pillars of our homes. We give life. But what drove me, what always nags my mind is what came also from a book here. If you remember the late Piet van der Beek, was one of the successful police with serial killers. That man used to convict. I remember the guy who had killed Lee Matthews said as soon as outward case sites were Van der Beek, he knew he was born. He says, I knew I was born. As soon as I knew that. But what always helps me, or even scares me about being a mother and being a woman, is what Piet van der Beek said in his books. Because his interviewee was asking, one journalist said to him, how do you get the worst serial killers to confess that you can convict them? How do you get them to trust you? And then he said, my first weapon is to identify their relationships with their mothers. He says, that's where I get them. And that's where they break. And he said, all these serial killers have a dysfunctional relationships with their mothers. Which really shocked me to say, is motherhood such a central thing that it's unforgivable to even do a wrong thing as a mother? Is it so central that if it's dysfunctional, it could create a serial killer? One of his, one of the criminals he arrested, if you remember, there was this Nazareth killer in Soweto who had killed 42 young girls. And his modus operandi, she wanted them young, she wanted them pretty. After raping them, she would take one shoe and take a ribbon as a trophy. And he broke. And when he was convicted, and he was married, so it was not about sex. It was not about money. He was a taxi driver, so it was not about sex, it was not about money. It just was clear, and just hate for women. And Piet van der Beek says this boy was born of a very pretty young mother was a sex worker. He was born in prison. Now with his 42 life sentence, he's going to die in prison. And what is the crime? It's just the hatred or the anger against his mother was a sex worker. So it just shows how deep and how important it is to empower women, because it's not, we're judged, unfortunately. Our kids want a virgin Mary more again. Lamsa Aka Shokala Kirkitalinda Tumur Klusi Sanaviena. Maraki Shoka had everybody's trying to sort out Mutsaham, influence don't have some. That's the unfortunate thing about being a mother. But it means we have this God role which is very difficult. Because when I read that book, I said, it's quite tough. We're being judged to an extent that a child becomes a serial killer because like, he takes us a midwife. I'm not saying it's right, but if they leave that, but the child will not be a serial killer. So I'm very proud that we are organizing us as women. We have such a central role. Sometimes it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy, but sometimes it just hangs loose. But what's our whole? How can you pass? I'm saying, it's hard now to do it. Shabbat shot left. How come Shabbat shot left? Because the consequences are huge. Accept the shot left. That's a kitty bed. Everybody accepts the Hanana. I accept the shot left, but I'm the Sada Pansy. I'm going to dance. Yes. I'm going to dance. So to empower women, and I'm glad that I see lots of young women here. I'm very proud to share Africa because we are the future. Remember, we were lucky that we had older women to hold our hands and guide us. And I'm glad that you are availing yourselves. I see that young girls are working in the field. Avail yourselves to be there. The country needs you, the children need you, the future needs you, and even the patrons that are here, you can see it's a good mix. It's a good mix that came here. It's older women, it's younger women. I was having ambassadors elected women. We have to hold hands because it's not a slogan that Lady is Velama Kosikas. It's not a slogan. It's a painful reality, and therefore we have to be conscious at all times, memory, and do whatever it takes to strengthen women. They do great work, not only for yourself, for our country, for our nation, because that serial rape is still like rape by the. So how do you So the work that you are doing, I don't want to take time, but I really am grateful. I don't take this opportunity for granted. I feel very honored that you've invited me here, and I'm really looking forward to the great work that is going to come from the seed that you are planting, and wish you well, wish the patrons well, hope it grows from strength to strength, and thank you very much.